JM on the track, JM on the track. In ADP production. Married in with Queen and Chris. Welcome to Married and Shit, Married and Shit. One spot for the spicy, one spot for the sweet. It's Married and Shit. 11 years in and you know that the marriage on fleek. Married and Shit. Like, subscribe, be sure to tap in like every other week. It's Married and Shit. Welcome to the family. Married and Shit. Married and Shit. We're back.
Yes.
Part
back.
2.
Yes, part 2. For those of you whose first episode this might be,
go back and listen to part 1.
Go back and listen to part 1, or go back and listen to the other episodes.
Right.
Whatever floats your fancy, but at least go back to the episode prior to this. So y'all can get caught up.
Right. I should refill my drink.
Oh well.
Too late.
Oh, you didn't bring it down here?
Yeah, I didn't bring it.
See, I can't prepare it. Mine is over there. So. All right, so we were talking about sex. Now, in the last episode, for those of you that just refuse to go back and listen to the last one, I get it. We were talking about how we were introduced to sex and, the conversations or the lack thereof we had within our families, whether immediate or extended. And we both pretty much came to the conclusion that neither of us really had a constructive introduction to sex. I learned about it from I walked in the room and my brother was watching porn, and I was like, what's this thing that's going on? And that was pretty much what blossomed to me, and everything I learned from there came from basically black male conversations with my brother. And then for you?
For me, it was, just interactions of my friends with sex. And I think we didn't really intend to spend so much talking about our introduction to sex, but it was supposed to be, our introduction and how it kind of shaped into our relationship and our marriage now, and how it would have been nice to have kind of like a better start in understanding of sex, leading into our relationship and our marriage, because how we view sex was different going into our relationship and going into our marriage. And it has evolved since we've been married, Yes,
and I think for me, going into our relationship, up until our relationship, I think sex was still about the fantasy. It was still about, trying to do what you saw on videos, what you saw on TV. Yeah. There was no emotion tied to it. It was just,
sex. Wham, bam.
Thank you, ma'am. Who's next? That's that. But real talk, that's what it was about.
Yeah.
Coming up in high school, that was just the thing. It was like, oh, hey.
Well, and I think that's
that one and that one and that one. Tried it.
So you was just a hoe.
I was not.
I mean, be a proud one. I was a proud one my freshman year. Well, I can't say I was a proud one. I just kept my shit. No. Correction. I kept mine under wrap, and then I got digmatized and got into a relationship.
But it was a relationship, though.
Yeah, it was a relationship.
It's not like you was just like that one and that one and
before the relationship.
Oh.
That old gazebo.
You was just loosey-goosey in it around.
Listen, that gazebo out at Albany State, man.
The pub probably got pictures of you. Wait, to just never catch you in the act.
Never. But that gazebo, yeah. But anyway, back to our relationship.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that you had said kind of before we had started filming was our lack of knowing about sex and our lack of education about sex led to a lack of a healthy relationship with sex later in our adulthood.
Yeah. I think what I said, dang, I said it earlier.
You said it so eloquently.
I said
earlier.
Lack of,
and I cannot remember your exact words.
I think it was like lack of education early on about sex leads to a bad relationship with sex later on in life. You know, when you learn about it, you know, when you learn about it the wrong way, that's the way it's going to imprint on you. And then when you get out there and you start getting down to it, you know, it's like, wait a minute, you know. And
you have problems with it because of the way that you learned. Mm-hmm. Like in your case, you know, you wanted the fantasy thing. I'm not saying that's what you, but you know, that's how you learned about it was through pornos, which, oh my God, like 80s pornos. I feel so bad for those women because, I can do it. But if that's what you're looking for in every time you have sex in every relationship,
I had a lot of those fantasies.
Let me tell you now, I'm not with some of that.
Oh, now I'm not with some of that now. I'm just, you know, that I'm not saying it with a happy face. I'm
okay. You know, there's
looking back at it now, there were some unpleasantries.
Exactly. Like I feel like, listen,
because in a lot of cases you're trying to reenact something, and this is what people don't. Well, not people. Well, sometimes it is people. You would think that grown folks know better,
but some don't.
You know, when you're seeing it that young, and that's what's imprinted. Because I'm not saying like, yes, I saw this stuff in like elementary school, but of course didn't act it out until years later.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, hey, I remember seeing this, remember seeing that, or, you know, you find out where the stash is, and this is like, you know, I learned my brother's routine, and, you know, as he got older, I learned the routine for myself because I still got home from school before he did. You know, but it just comes down to it where it's you're acting these things, and what especially teenagers, what they don't realize is in a lot of cases what you're seeing has been carefully put together and planned.
Yeah.
It's been, you know, it's like a professional, and
it's a professional movie.
Well, yeah, you know, it's a movie. I was about to say like professional sport. It's like I don't want to call these people athletes. Some of them are athletes. You see the stuff they be doing.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you know, a professional football player, professional basketball, or a professional gymnast. They don't just saying
like a movie, a stuntman. Yeah, they have different takes.
Yeah,
and
you know, they don't just hit the mat, the field, the court, whatever, you know, field of play that you play on. I was trying to not take it that way, but okay, here we there. You don't just show up and it's just like, all right, hey, I'm finna flip you up that way, I'm finna do it this way, or right. You know, for like a gymnast, they don't just get out on the mat and be like, yeah, I'm finna. They have tried, they have tried this out, they have been coached, it's been put together. Everybody involved in said scene has been prepared for what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So when you just show up, you know, for the fellas, when you just show up, you know, wherever you're showing up for these extracurricular activities,
and you think you're gonna come on my face, it's a problem.
That's not. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah.
So, I'm saying that from experience. Not, you know, it wasn't you. Your face.
You just laying all your cards out there, huh?
I'm just using it as it wasn't experience, but using it as an example.
Didn't you just say it happened?
I did. I was about to say I was going to use it as an example, but I forgot that part slipped. But I'm saying exactly what you're saying. That guys have this illusion in their mind of how.
No, it's girls too. Okay. We're going to get to
females
y'all too.
Okay. People, is that better? Mm-hmm. People have this thought process of how things are supposed to go, and when they don't communicate like what turns them on, or what turns them off also. When they don't communicate that, and they have this idea in their mind of how it should go,
like she's supposed to like this because they like it on TV,
exactly,
or he's supposed to like this because every time the chicks do it on the videos, he's moaning in pleasure.
Right. And that's definitely not the case.
Because I mean, honestly, a lot of the things that are done in these videos are pretty awkward and painful. And I actually have a friend that went into directing.
Oh, you have to tell me after.
Yeah, I have a friend that went into directing, and I remember he was telling me, he was like, bruh, it's nothing like what we saw. He's like, so much goes into it. Like, all these dudes, when you see one scene and that scene is like, 47 minutes long, he's like, that dude don't be stroking for 47 minutes. He's like, that scene will last all day because, he'll bust nut 2 minutes in.
Well, yeah.
Gotta wait. We gotta pump them up and get them ready and all that stuff.
It's good that you told me, that you corrected me earlier when you said guys and girls, because that was definitely something that's
what I was about to get to.
That I expected from a guy was, okay, well, that was round 1. Let's go ahead and get round 2 started, like, right now.
Like, wait a minute. What you don't understand is, after that first one, there have been times where, there
are times where it's like,
it's not an every time thing. Like, remember we was looking at them string of, was it like Instagram posts, or was it on Twitter or something like that?
What?
Where the dude posted that thing, hey fellas, like, let's be honest for 1 second.
Oh, yeah. It was on Twitter. It was on Twitter.
What was it?
It was, some guy was like, this is your safe space. Talk about that one time where you
thought you was about to get it in.
Yeah, you thought you was about to get it in.
Old girl got a hold of you, and he was basically asking, what's the fastest?
Yeah, what's the fastest you ever?
A lady has ever made you climax.
Yes.
All right, we gonna be
climax. Will be sophisticated.
Come. All right, look. And man, we read some stuff on there that was fun. One dude was like, "Oh man, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm glad there's other fellas out here that have been taken down." You know. But yeah, if you're a female and you're just out there expecting, every guy every time to lay down with you at 10 o'clock at night, and you still sweating at 5:45 in the morning, look,
that shit ain't happening.
You might want to take that dude to the emergency room, because
and that's
something is wrong.
And that's actually one of the things that, like,
or he might be ridiculously drunk.
Well, that was one of the things that I instantly thought of when you said that a lack of knowledge about sex leads to a bad relationship with sex. Because since I didn't have sex, like during my high school years, and I just tried to, like, let's break it in before I get to college. When I got to college, and in my mind, this is the time when Missy Elliott was like, she don't want no Minuteman. You listen to the old, the good R&B songs where it's like, we making love from sunrise to sun up. We doing it all night long. Et cetera, et cetera. When a dude is done in like 15 minutes, or less.
There's so many guys that probably have it. And I'm not saying show up in the comments, but look, I done got taken out too. You get a little bit, you get a little bit too excited, and they see is whoop. What did I do say? He said, hey,
whoop. Get you, yah.
No,
Is that what you're talking about?
He was like, one dude was like, man, it started shaking and I was trying to hold it. That dude was like, yeah, man, once it starts shaking, you're done. That's it. Once it starts shaking, you might as well go ahead and get yourself in recovery mode. Give yourself a little 6 to 8 minute break, and then just come back around too, But
I mean, let me just say, I am glad that the shake is the precursor to let me know what's about to happen, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
Take y'all a long time to get to that point.
I mean, it takes me a long time, but
No, I'm saying it takes y'all a long time to get to the point to where that's acceptable.
What's acceptable? Well, we're gonna talk about that later.
That's a lot of pressure. That is a lot of pressure.
Well, I mean, like I said, you know, I had to learn that it's just not reasonable for any guy. Hell, it's not even reasonable for me to last from 10 p.m. to, you know, the sun rising in the morning.
Look, I'm just not doing it's
I don't.
Even if I could, like, after a while, like,
I'm tired.
After, like, number 3,
it's a wrap.
Like, after, like, number 3, it's painful. I mean, you feel like there's pressure. Like, I imagine that has to be the equivalence of, like, having a heart attack. Like, every single... Oh, my goodness. It's just like, you know, bright lights and, like, I'm about to pass out. It's like, jeez.
I mean, I just wouldn't... I wouldn't
Stupid-ass body is like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good to go. Everything on the inside, I'm just like, oh, my God, please just... Yeah, like 3 is the limit for me. I'm just...
Well, I mean...
Maybe even 4.
But I will say that was definitely something that...
We're not talking about time.
I know we're not talking... Oh, you're...
I'll make sure they know we're not talking about time.
No,
I'm talking
not
about
time.
I'm talking about how many nuts busted. That's how many...
I thought you said we was going to be sophisticated and be like, climax is reached.
Or climax
is reached.
Or maybe Dre can get rid of that one. I don't know. Or maybe she won't. I don't care. I'm grown. I'm under my own roof that I pay for.
Yes.
With my money.
But, yeah. But it's things like that I think really harms a relationship after that initial, like, I don't want to call it a honeymoon phase, but that just, like, lust phase. But, you know, because when you first meet someone, you're just like, oh, my God. You know, you at it like rabbits. You know, and I feel like that was us. You know, we was at it like rabbits back in that twin. that
little twin XL bed.
When we was in college and we had these twin XL beds.
Oh, they know. Look, they got to know what we're talking about. Look. Especially, I don't know what they have in the college dorms these days because, you know.
But we had these little twin XL beds with paper thin walls, and my roommate, my roommate really, because she was my roommate for a while, for a couple places.
She wasn't ever there.
But part of the reason she wasn't there was because of us.
No, that is not.
That is part of the reason.
Not why.
That is part. I'm telling you, that's part of the reason.
No.
She gonna show up in the comments and I'm be like, I told you.
No, because she used to be at her boyfriend's place.
I mean, yeah, but we was also part of the reason.
I don't believe it.
Oh, you ain't gotta believe it. I know it's true.
I don't believe her either.
I know it's true.
She was over there busting it wide open too. Look, that's... You feel me. You feel me.
But, I definitely feel like after you get past that lust rabbit stage...
Remember, she dated my friend. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Look,
anyway,
y'all's house is like a damn frat house that summer. We was there. Your roommate was there. They was downstairs, and
it was a good time.
It was a great time.
It was a good time.
Great
time. But after that lustful rabbit stage,
I was conceived there.
Hell yeah. That lustful rabbit stage, you know, and you start going to old habits or what you think sex should be like. Mm-hmm. That's where problems creep up. Yeah. I think. And it was definitely something like we had to, you know, work through on both sides.
I think the stuff we worked, I don't think it really had to do with sex.
I think it
was learning how to grow up and properly respect a relationship.
Yeah.
I think that was most of our difficulties. I don't think we had problems with the... I don't think you had... I think you definitely had some unrealistic expectations, and I definitely had some unrealistic expectations. But I think for the most part, those were kind of shut down.
Yeah.
Early.
Yeah, I think, you know...
When it came to other people, I mean, there was definitely some chicks that got the worst of...
Oh, yeah, I mean, there were definitely some sorry lays had before I got with you. Is that what you're talking about?
I was talking about my behalf. There were some chicks that I was like, oh, okay, so women don't like that in real life? Okay, all right, I'll know.
No, I was a sorry lay. And then I think I got it together probably like 2 or 3 partners before you.
Your count is going up higher than what you told me.
No, my count is low, bro.
No, but the way you're talking now is not the way you were talking like 10 years ago.
Okay, I don't count certain counts though.
You do definitely count. If somebody has entered your body, then that counts.
Certain counts don't
unless
count.
It was rape. That's the only...
Rape absolutely does not count.
Yeah, rape doesn't count. Neither one of us are ever raped though. But rape doesn't count. All right, so you can omit that from that count. But if you consensually laid down with somebody, just because it was bad doesn't mean it didn't happen. That's not how it goes at all. Even if it's just once.
Okay, so
if P went in the V.
P went in the V.
I was about to say G. I don't know what.
I don't know what a G is.
If P went in the V, then you had sex. There didn't have to be a climax. In a lot of cases with multiple females, there isn't a climax. It's hey, this feels good during the act. Okay, yeah, you're doing it right. Oh, you're done? Okay, yeah, that was fun. All right, maybe we'll do it again.
I think, no.
But no, it definitely counts. So you're going to have to reevaluate your number, because now I'm finding out that you're excluding people because you didn't like it.
No, I'm not excluding people because I didn't like it. I'm excluding people because it was like
He didn't quit it?
Yeah.
It's still sex.
It's
very much still sex.
I feel like...
You know how many baby mamas have come from hit it and quit it moments? I'm sorry. Baby daddies were created then too. I don't want to make it one-sided, but... Yeah, it's probably gonna people pop up in the comments gonna be like, yeah, boo. You may not want to acknowledge that it happened.
No, it's not that I don't want to acknowledge it, but it was a nothing encounter.
Oh, something happened. If your clothes were taken off and P went in the V?
What if all your clothes weren't taken off? What if...
Did P go in the V?
P went into the V.
Then it's sex.
I mean, but they don't count towards your count.
Yes, they do count. If all the clothes didn't come off, that just means y'all was just in a rush.
That was a half a count.
No, it's a full count.
Oh, well. I don't even remember anymore.
Put it this way, and I'll laugh at myself. Look, y'all. All right. I'm a Falcons fan. A lot of Falcons fans like to act like 2016 didn't happen. Like 28-3 didn't happen. All right, I'm not one of those people. I understand that happened. I'm not just going to omit that from my history as a Falcons fan. You can't just jump out there and be like, that wasn't one of my best moments, so we're going to write that off.
It wasn't that.
It's not like a tax write. It's not like taxes. You can't just be like, write that off.
I'm just saying, like, it just wasn't, it wasn't important.
Well, was it the H&R Block commercial? Where the dude like killed himself off on some island. He was like, what did he say? His name is what was his name?
I don't remember, but I know what you're
and the black chick is sitting there. He's going through that. He's like, you don't want to see that.
Listen,
you don't get to do that.
That shouldn't count towards your count, though.
It absolutely does, because that one encounter has the possibility of producing another life or a gift that keeps on giving.
Okay, well, thankfully.
Now, if it was just, we were playing spin the bottle and had to go in the closet and we kissed a little bit, you don't have to be like, I've kissed this many people.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about P in the V, where did I hear that from?
I don't know where you heard that.
I heard it from somewhere, and it's caught on to me. I don't know. It's probably
in the V.
It's probably another podcast that we listen to. Hey, look, I'm sorry. All right, I'm not trying to take anybody else's stuff. As soon as I figure it out, I'll tell y'all where I heard it from. Yeah, but it's.
I feel like, okay, listen. I feel like it's this way.
I'm gonna win.
Listen. It's like when you go buy a car, right? And you gotta test drive some cars before you make that final purchase. You know, I test drove a few cars before I was like, all right, I'ma stick with this car for these, you know, for a little while. But you don't say that. Oh yeah, I test drove 6 cars.
Yeah,
you just say I own this one car.
Because people gonna be like, oh man, why did you choose this car? Well, you know, I went to a dealership.
Okay, now I can't say that.
I drove the Ferrari. I drove the Mustang. I tried the new Corvette.
You can't say that. You can't be like, oh yeah, well,
I drove the Maserati.
I test drove this guy, and I test drove this guy, but I decided
I test drove the Ferrari, the Maserati, the new Mustang, the new Corvette, the new Camaro, and I started to get this 89 Accord.
Okay, let's not.
No, you absolutely. This is one of the times where the example you're using does not fit the narrative.
I think my example is very relevant.
It doesn't.
And relatable.
No.
I feel like test drives do not count. I have not counted test drives. And hell, some of them was a blind test drive. Okay, I won't say some. I don't want to use the word some.
What's a blind test drive when you're talking about sex? I'm curious.
Blind test drive is like, you know when you with somebody in the club and the club is dark and you think that they look one way, but then when you find out in real life they don't look that way because you may have been drunk. Okay, first of all, fix your face.
So you were out there meeting people in the club and having drunk sex with them, and then you woke up and had a Coyote Ugly situation. It was like, oh my God, let me bite my arm off because
I'm just saying that if you have like a one night stand with counts. Somebody, it shouldn't count. It's a test drive.
It definitely counts.
You test drove the car, and the car is a dud. The car is a limit.
What does
so
someone
it doesn't
have
count.
to do to make your list?
At least I at least need to test drive you like 2 or more times, and you have to have your number saved in my phone. If your number's wasn't saved in my phone back then, and we weren't in a constant communication, you don't count.
You are in serious denial right now.
I am not in denial.
You are definitely in denial.
I am not in denial. I'm just saying.
If you have had intercourse with someone at least one time, and it's because to me that's the ultimate. For lack of better words, I want to use betrayal. That's like the ultimate
betrayal.
It's the ultimate. I mean, for guys, I would say gift, but generally for women, it's like the ultimate betrayal because it's like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about him ever again.
Well, like I said, okay, let me also say, like I said before, I did not know that sex was pleasurable for a female. I legit was like, sex is if you want to have a baby or when you are married.
I get that, but I think we're past that and we're talking about the fun times. Because you said by the time you got to college, it's just, okay, it counts.
I don't think it counts.
Oh my God, we've got to have a poll because she's not going to change. There's got to be a poll down there. If you slept with somebody at least one time, and I'm not talking about you just laid down in the same bed, you kissed a little bit, maybe there's a little bit of foreplay. Okay, I'll give it. If it was just foreplay, you don't have to put them on your count. But if his sexual organs entered your sexual organs, then fam, you had sex.
I'm not I'm not saying I didn't have sex.
Okay. So the number I'm talking about is the number of people you have had sex with.
And I believe that my number should be the relevant people that I've had sex with. Because if you weren't relevant enough for me to have a second test drive, then you don't count.
Yes, they count.
No.
All right, because take it this way. If you go to the doctor and you came up, if that's the case, look at people like Eazy-E and Magic Johnson. All right, when they went to when their doctors called them and told them, hey, you have this condition, pretty much the very next question is, hey, who all have you been sexually active with? You know, in this time, literally, medically, it matters. We're not talking about your personal views. I'm talking about the physical act. And it matters.
I mean,
let's say it this way. If you have sex with someone just one time, you meet them in the club, you have a lapse of judgment, you have sex with somebody one time, and they remember you and come back and say, hey,
why are you making that face?
I've been burning lately, and you finna go straight to the doctor. You're not gonna be like, oh well, it was just one time, so it don't matter. I mean, it's not possible that affects me because it was just one time. Because because your number is not. You see, look at my phone. Your name ain't there. All right, it's not even there as do not call or do not answer. It's nowhere in my phone. So no, it's not. That is not how it works.
This is not what this episode is supposed to be.
It was about. Not, but it has changed now. And this is going to be another. There will not be a part 3. However long this one goes is how long it's going to go. But you will not sit here and try to convince me that just because you feel like that it wasn't a relevant encounter. I get it. I'm not saying it has to be relevant, but when it comes to the count, it matters. Because all the count is, we're not talking about how many partners that you've had that you've enjoyed, or how many partners have you had where you went back for seconds, or thirds, or maybe even fifths. You know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10ths. You know, we're not talking about who was your go-to when you and your mans or you and your significant others having problems. We're not talking about that person. All right, we're not talking about your Splackavelli. Went back to that. We ain't talking about Splackavelli. You know, Splackavelli.
Christopher.
You know the song. Splackavelli.
I don't.
All right. But, you know, it doesn't have to be somebody that's very frequent, or it doesn't have to be somebody that's more. If it happened at least once, then they count in the body count.
I think that's just gonna be a poll because, yeah.
Think about it.
But see, this is the thing.
You ever heard when people talking about like folks? It was like, oh yeah, this dude got bodies.
I mean, granted, yeah.
I mean, because last time I checked, you can only die once, right? Because we were.
Granted, yes. I mean, I know that's been an issue. That's been an issue with old boy, up in DC. But no, I mean,
people
I
are
get
dying
where you're
that have never
coming
died
from.
before.
Yes.
Type deal.
I'm not talking about 45. He don't exist in my world. I completely get where you're coming from. However, my body count is only relevant folks.
No, your body count are folks that have entered your body.
I mean, and this is gonna sound really bad. If that is truly what you're considering a body count, I can't give you my body count because
I'm not even gonna try to give you mine. That's just.
Okay.
That's just.
I mean, because I really don't know. Because I mean, I told you about that one weekend in Valdosta. Like,
that's different. I mean, I'm not expecting you to. You know about that?
Huh?
Oh, you're telling on yourself. Oh, you're telling on yourself. I'm not going to be around for that conversation.
Listen, we'll put that'll be on another episode.
That's different because you don't know if something happened or not. But if you know that there was a point in time when you late, and technically, if something did happen, that would have been.
Well, I think
that would have been that rape situation. That's exactly what that would have been.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure back then, had we had this conversation,
I'm talking about not about us. I'm talking about just in general, college. I don't. Well,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If we had this conversation 10 years ago,
yeah,
and we were literally this conversation, and you were like, okay, I guess I get what you're saying, you probably would have been able to come up with an accurate number. Now, I don't remember most of the people that, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look,
I don't know.
I'm dreading somebody trying to be trashy and leave a comment on this podcast. Yep, I knew this back in this time. Bitch, I don't know I care about you. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I'm kind of dreading, but I'm just like, you know what? If it happens, you know, we got
you and me now.
We got scrimp here all the way.
All the way. Because I mean, now it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now it
doesn't
matter.
Which brings us to what we're supposed to be talking about. Yes! 35 and a half minutes in. We're supposed to be talking about sex now.
Sex now.
I can't, but I still cannot believe that you're 33 years old.
Yes, I am.
How is it that at 33 you don't understand this concept? I understand.
No.
This is like my mama lying about her age for the last 8 years. You know what I'm saying? At least deep down inside, she knew how old she was, but nobody else was going to know.
I have absolutely
and
no
I get
clue.
that. I get that, but I get who you don't want to acknowledge, but they exist.
No, it's no one specific that I don't want to acknowledge.
I know. I'm not saying that it's like a trash person. You're just like, oh, this person doesn't exist because it wasn't really relevant. It was like a one-time thing. It was a fling. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a thing. Like, if, you know, and it's usually dudes that get caught cheating and shit. But if if a dude gets caught cheating, usually one of his defenses is like, oh, man, that's just some old somebody I laid down with. She don't mean nothing.
Right.
But to you, she means a lot of something because you laid down there with her and you put the P in the V. It matters then.
Is that going to be your thing?
It's not my thing because I heard from somebody else.
I don't know who you heard it from, but we got to figure it out.
But but see, here's the thing. I guarantee you feel differently about it if the narrative fits what you wanted to fit. If you were to catch me up into some shit like that, and I was like, hey man, look, she don't even matter. It was just a one-time thing. Never gonna happen again. I don't even remember her name. You gonna be like, see that face you making right there? That I guarantee it matters then.
But it's different now. Like if it was now, yes, but back then
it mattered then too.
No, I don't think it did.
Look, y'all. Like I said, we had to learn. We had to learn how to respect the relationship. All right, and college.
We did.
College was, you know, we.
It was hard.
We was both running around
disrespectful.
Things. We was both disrespectful in college.
We was both disrespectful of each other, towards each other.
Luckily, all three of my kids came from the same woman.
She, me, her.
Yeah. And when I say luck, I mean literally it was luck because there was some.
You had some time.
There was many. It just you know, I'm not proud of it.
Oh my gosh, this is not what part 2 was supposed to be about.
I'm not ashamed either.
Part 2 was not supposed to be about all of this. Part 2 was supposed to be how not to fall into the stereotypical married sex life trap.
All right, so let's talk about that.
That's our time. Join us on Thursday for part 3.
Oh, that'll be cute. Bye.